Hello and welcome back to Fans React. Today I've got Matthew Lead on the channel with us. Hello Matthew.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Really good. I've been decorating all day. I've got paint in my fingernails still. I've been putting up bunk beds and everything, so I'm knackered and I didn't get a chance to watch the game today against Port Vale. 2-0 to Sunderland. I don't know anything about it. I had SAC Fan TV, SEFC Fan TV on in the background stream, and I was on there for a little bit, so I heard little bits and pieces. So I just mute my phone. But yeah, what did you think of the performance? Who was the standout man? And give us a bit of background on what happened, because like I say, I didn't see any of it.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think we completely dominated the game all around the pitch, and it was really good to see. I think starting 11, it was quite a solid team we put out. I thought we were going to play more youngsters. Obviously, we saw Dan Neil getting a start. Jack Diamond was on the bench, but to be fair, he's been playing quite a lot recently. So it's sort of the players who haven't really been playing as much. For me, a key one was Dobson. He was still left on the bench. So clearly, I don't think Lee Johnson rates him enough to even start him in one of these trophy games. So he probably could be on the way out. But into the game, one player I think really stood out for me that was a little bit of a surprise was actually Aidan O'Brien. Aidan O'Brien scored our opening goal. It was a good ball fed through to him by one of the other Sunderland players. I wasn't really concentrating, but anyway, the ball came right through to Aidan O'Brien, and it was a really good finish with his weak foot. The left foot, he just guided it into the bottom corner. And yeah, I think we played all around the pitch really well, but I think it was just that sort of the final ball, just the end product, I think wasn't there because we got in the box so many times, but we just couldn't get that shot away, and that was the most frustrating things. But yeah, so we probably should have won by quite more goals. But yeah, it was quite a dominant performance. Absolutely no way whatsoever did I see Port Vale ever getting back into the game. So I think it was a good, comfortable win. You should hopefully get a bit more confidence back into the team now.
Yeah. So would you say it was us making Port Vale look bad, or them making us look good?
Probably them making us look good, to be honest.
They were really good, weren't they?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of both. I think it was one of these sort of games were a good chance for, like Lee Johnson and whoever his assistant is, something McAllister, Jamie McAllister, I think, just to sort of get their ideas across. So yeah, I did think that the players played quite well. Yeah, I think it's just one of those games. I think Portsmouth are knocked out now, so I think we've probably got quite a good chance of going on and winning this competition. Not that it's something that we necessarily all need or something we all want. Obviously, we want to go back to Wembley again and win, but I don't really think we want to go back to Wembley. But yeah, so it's just one of those games to gain a little bit of momentum, get the ideas across, and yeah, I think we played quite decent.
So was it a good, strong team we put out?
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid team, really. I think it was just sort of the second choice team. I mean, along with the players, Scowen started. Who else started? McFadzean started, and just a few of the regular starter players. But yeah, I think we did play quite well. To be fair, and it was a very strong team. It was a stronger team than I thought we would put out. But I think it's got to be one of those games Lee Johnson has to use to his advantage of seeing what these players are actually like.
Yeah. Yeah. Did Dan Neil get a bit of game time as well?
Dan Neil played the first half, and then Ledbetter came on for before the second half started. So he just came on to start the second half. So I don't know what's happened there, whether he's got an injury or something like that, or.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure. It doesn't make sense.
I've been interested to see what I haven't seen Dan Neil since he put that through ball through for Green. Yeah. How was his performance? Would you say?
Yeah, solid. To be fair, he didn't really do much wrong. I think obviously we are playing against a League Two side. Probably the quality isn't as good. But yeah, I think he played quite decent. And yeah, just along with everyone else, really, just a solid performance. And I don't really see why Dan Neil Daniel should be playing probably a little bit more, or at least be on the bench, because I think he is a lot better than the likes of George Dobson.
Yeah.
I don't really see why he's not in the squad. He does travel to the games, but I think he's just sort of the backup choice. But I think today is one of those opportunities for him to prove himself. But I hope he hasn't got injured or anything like that, because it was a bit alarming. He came up in the first half, But whether that was just tactical, who knows?
Yeah, it could be, as you say, just Lee Johnson trying to get to know the players a bit better.
Yeah, it could be like it's just trying to play a different system in the second half. He's just trying one thing in the first half and seeing another way in this. It could just be something like that. So that's all it could be.
Yeah, was he playing 4-4-2 throughout the entire game?
Do you know what? I never really worked it out. I know Max Power was playing right back. And we had a flat back four. I think maybe Aidan O'Brien was up front on his own, or maybe Gooch or Maguire was playing up front with him. But I'm really not too sure what formation it was. But I'm pretty sure that O'Brien was up front on his own. But I'll have to check it. But yeah, it was one of those games where I couldn't really work out what the formation was. Yeah.
You mentioned Power playing at right back there. I know there was a bit of a disagreement on SAFC TV about putting players that it's not the natural position in there. Obviously, we've had O'Nien in there before, who's done really good. You could actually play him permanently in that position. How did Max Power do in that position? Would you prefer to see him there, or would you prefer to see him further up the pitch?
I prefer to see a right back play right back.
Yeah.
To be honest, and I think Max Power is probably the player who wants to play higher up the pitch, and that's just the sort of player he is. He has got a shot on him, and he said that before. He just wants the license to go forwards. Playing at right back, he was solid. He did a job. He was all right going forward. But the problem is it was the same against who on earth did we play? It was Hull City. That's it. I'm forgetting. But he got caught out of position quite a lot when defense wise. He was never there. We're like, where's Max Power? Where's the right back? Where's he gone? And he wasn't there, so he got a bit exposed there. So, it's just one of those things, really. Obviously, it's only probably the second time he's ever played there, and it's one of those things. Really, you can't expect someone to be perfect after the first time they've done it. But I think Lee Johnson has said that he's found that some of the players can play other positions as well as their own ones. So I know they can play other positions, but I would prefer it if they could play their positions, that they've always played. But, just if this is what we have to do until we can sign a few players in the window, then yeah. But with me, Max Power at right back, look, he does a job. If someone gets sent off and he has to go there, I'd have quite a bit of faith in him there to do a job. It's not like sticking like an outfield player in goal. He can sort of play there, and he's quite solid. But yeah, I would prefer to see him further up the pitch. I think we've said that like about everyone who's played at right back. Really, we'd like to see him further up the pitch. Yeah, a lot of the players, because that's all we want. As fans, all we sort of want is to watch entertaining football and watch attacking football. You obviously most of the time you can't really get that. But yeah, just he did all right. But yeah, probably would prefer us to maybe sign a right back and get him further up the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. I've always said as well about O'Nien, I'd like to see him play in midfield, like an attacking midfield role. I think he would be really good in that. I think Power, it's fair enough trying different positions out in cups in cup games like this, but I think it's a bit risky doing it in league games every league game is a must-win game. So it's a bit risky trying it out there, I suppose. But if if he's the manager, he knows what he's doing. Hopefully. So, who would you say was the man of the match today
then? To be honest, I'd probably give it to Aidan O'Brien. I think he held the ball up quite a good few times, and I've been quite impressed with him today. And I haven't really been impressed with him in previous games, but he just hasn't had that run in the team. I think he needs to really get his form, and I think that's all what players need, really, just a little run in the team. So. He surprised me there. Hopefully, he's impressed the manager, and he should be pushing for the starting 11 really against Wimbledon.
Yeah. Who was in goal today as well? I didn't.
Remy Matthews.
Did he have a decent performance?
To be fair, he was never really called upon. He just caught the ball a few times from a corner, and that was it really. So yeah,
Right.
can't really say he did anything wrong. It was probably a good job he wasn't tested, because God knows what he would have done. But yeah, so again, but it was quite a quiet. He had a quiet game. So yeah,
fair enough. So we've got EFC Wimbledon on Saturday 16th. Is that going ahead?
Yeah, should be, yeah.
Saturday the 16th, 1 o'clock kickoff. If you were to pick your lineup for that, knowing what you've just seen, is any of the players impressed you from today that you would add to the? I mean, just go through the lineup, what you would like to see start that game.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the goalkeeper, I mean, I feel like Lee Burge and Remy Matthews there. I feel like maybe Lee Burge is a better shot stopper, but Remy Matthews is better at sort of catching the ball from corners and whatnot. It's a difficult one. I think. See, I'm torn between the two of them. But I'm sort of edging towards Lee Burge more than Remy Matthews, just because of that shot stopping. So yeah, I'd probably say Lee Burge in goal. Gonna put in the defence. So first of all, Bailey Wright. Jordan Willis got back in today. I think it was his first game since MK Dons, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, he came on against. Who did we play? Was it Wimbledon? Wimbledon again at home. It was when we were forced to play.
Yeah.
He played that game like he shouldn't have played. He wasn't fit. He was injured.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got some. He won't be. I don't think he'll be starting. He'll have to play, a few more games. So and then Flanagan's out injured as well. So I think maybe they might start Sanderson in there. So Wright and Sanderson. Right back, probably Conor McLaughlin again. Left back McFadzean. And then I'll probably go for the 4-3-3 again, because that's the sort of formation we're going with. So I'd like to see Winchester start, but I don't think we're going to see that. Not yet.
Yeah.
I would like to see him start, and I'd probably have him in there instead of maybe Ledbetter, because Ledbetter's played a lot of games, and I think obviously he's good at holding the ball, maybe slowing the game down when we're maybe 3-0 up and we need to sort of bring him on, slow the play down, and it gets sorted. But I think I'd maybe have Winchester in there instead of Ledbetter. So Powell, Winchester, Scowen, and then I'd have had McGeady starting up, and it's sort of a choice between Wyke and O'Brien. But I probably I'm leaning more towards Charlie Wyke because of his goals this season.
Yeah.
I would like to see Aidan O'Brien get on the pitch at some point if we're going to go to a 4-4-2 or something like that. And then on the right, obviously, it's between Maguire and Diamond. I think Maguire, he was very quiet today. I didn't really see him do very much. I don't even think he had a shot, which is quite rare for him. In a game that we had so much possession, I think we should be getting more shots away. Yeah, I think Diamond's been starting the game, so I think we could start Diamond again. I think if we start off the game with that intensity and the speed and the pace, if we have Winchester and Diamond starting, I think two quite energetic people, and that's all we sort of want. We just want sort of the pace. Obviously, pace and power. I'm not too sure we've got obviously we have got power, but that sort of power, we haven't. I don't think we've quite got it yet. But if we want to play fast football and get the ball up the pitch quickly, press high, we will need those sort of energetic players. We don't want to be playing, sort of like 35, 34-year-olds who will come to the end of their football career to sort of, try and boss this game and speed it up. We need those sort of the young energetic players, and then it's just how Lee Johnson manages the game, really. He's just got to have the right people on the pitch at the right time. And yeah, that's why I started. I would start Diamond instead of Maguire, just to give us that sort of extra bit of energy.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think, well, I don't know a single Sunderland fan that hasn't said we've lacked pace and creativity in midfield. So hopefully Winchester can give us the creativity and the pace, as you say. And with Diamond, for me, since obviously started getting game time under Lee Johnson, he's had man of the match for me every game, I think. Really impressed with him. so he would definitely start. Obviously, I didn't see. Did he get game time today? Did you say?
Yeah, he came on for Wimbledon. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, for me, I'm optimistic again. I always am, but sometimes I'm overly optimistic. What would you predict for the Wimbledon game? Give us a prediction of the score, mate.
Do you know what? Going back to the game we drew 1-1 with them. If we had a stronger team, I'm sure we would have beat them.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think as Sunderland we're going to make things easy for ourselves. So it's either going to be a 2-1 or a 1-0. But I think we might get a 2-1 win. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that, definitely. The 3 points is the main thing.
Yeah.
Right, so Lee Johnson, he's had a few games now. What are you thinking of him? Are you happy that we've got him now? Obviously, you've seen a few games, how he's setting up. I know he's had disruption with COVID and just games being postponed and things like that. Are you happy we've got him, or would you have preferred somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Lee Johnson was a realistic appointment. I think one thing I've liked about him is sort of the way he speaks, and obviously that's not everything about a manager, because what really matters is what goes on the pitch. But first of all, he knew exactly where the problems are. He said he's identified them, and there's things like the clock's not working in the dressing room, and just other. It's just standards. He wants the standards to be higher. He wants the players to have that personality. That he wants them to have, that big personality. I think Parkinson destroyed the big personalities because he probably wanted to be the ones telling the other players that you need to do this, you need to do that. And just like McGeady, he's seen what McGeady's like in the dressing room, and he's sort of gone, McGeady, I don't really want you here anymore, because you're doing my job for me. So please go. So I'm happy with him. He's basically said everything that we're all thinking. We lack the pace, creativity. He's very honest. That's what I like. But it gets to a certain point where he talks good, but we need to start seeing things happen on the pitch. We need to see us start winning games again. And I think that's the main thing for me. It's obviously not been ideal, with having those 2 weeks off with COVID. 13 players and maybe some staff members testing positive for COVID. It's not ideal, I mean, you would never expect, going into management, you'd ever be met with something like that. I mean, it's the last thing, if someone was going to tell us that a year ago that was going to happen, you just would never have believed them. It's just crazy how the world has changed. So things have happened where you would never think that they could happen. So it's not been ideal for him, obviously. I think he's done a good job so far, and I like how he's just brought everyone back in, and he's all given them their chance. And whatever happens from now, if they're going to start, that's on their own merit. If they're going to be taken out of the team, that's because they're not good enough. He's given everyone that level playing field. He says, right, just go prove yourself. He's brought McGeady back in, prove yourself. And it's the players who are on the pitch that have proved something to him. So I mean, another thing as well, I like the sound of him is how he identifies young players and brings them to the club. Like he did it at Bristol City with a few players. I mean, he even brought didn't he bring Antoine Semenyo to Bristol City from Newport? And obviously he was a decent player when we had him. We didn't see him too much, but he's doing really well for Bristol City now. And I think it's little players like that, and what's happened at this club for ages. We've splashed out on all of these players who have ended up, refusing to turn up to training, and just refusing to play and things like this. So I think it's as good that we've got someone who can identify young players and bring them to the club and build a future. I think we see him as very much a short-term plan and a long-term plan at the same time. So I'm pretty pleased with Lee Johnson. Obviously, all we want to do is just, whoever the manager is, we just want the club to be successful, really. It's obviously not easy, playing in the stadium of when there's no fans. So I'm sure it's very eerie, and you hear all the echoes, you hear everything that everyone's saying, and you could shout something and you'd be hearing the echo of what you've said for the next 20 minutes. I mean, I've been on a tour at the stadium of standing pitch side with no one in there, and it's nice to look around, but you couldn't imagine playing in the stadium with no fans. Like it just wouldn't work, and it's something that has so many challenges, and I think he's done well so far. And yeah, just long may it continue. He was at Bristol City for 4 years. He took them from from League One to nearly getting into the Premier League with them. So look, we can build something with him. You know, he's a young manager, plenty of experience, and yeah, I think he's someone that the players like a lot. And I think it's key that everyone in that dressing room gets along, because if you listen to what McGeady said, he knew after 10 days Parkinson wasn't going to last, you know, and it's just the players were against Parkinson, and when he was sacked, not one player was even upset about it or anything like that. And it just shows really, you know, just the decision making at the top of the club. But obviously, we've gone for a slightly different approach now, and yeah, just we all want it to be successful, and hopefully, we found the man to do that.
Yeah, as you said, all we want is success. And I think for me, success starts at the top. So we need to get this takeover done as soon as possible, and the success should filter down, in my opinion. Yeah. We've got the sporting director in place. We've got the manager in place. We need this Louis Krill, Dreyfus, whatever his name is, to be in. Do you think there's any sign of that happening anytime soon? Have you heard anything recently?
Well, they said mid-January.
Yeah.
It might get to the end of January and people have gone, right, well, what's happened with this now? You know, the club were forced to comment. Maybe it was what William Story said with the interview of Sean Middleton on SAFC Fan TV. You know, that they said the club has to comment now. I'm sure the club would have preferred to have comment when he's there holding up the red and white scarf, you know, and his red and white tie is the new chairman of Sunderland. But they're forced to comment now and say, well, yes, with the EFL checks, you know, something is happening. As they keep saying, these things take time. I know we've been waiting however many years. So, you know, it's taken a while, but the thing is, we need to get the ownership sorted, because at the end of the day, football is about football. You know, it's about that ball on the pitch and the players are in the red and white shirt. That's what it's about. It's not about the owners. You know, when I started supporting Sunderland, I didn't even know who the owners were. You know, I fell in love with the team on the pitch, and that's what it's all about. Get it sorted at the top, and then help the people that sort of really matter at the football club. You know, and yeah, so that's just the main thing that we need to sort out. And I think Stuart Donald, obviously, if they've all agreed a deal now, and if it's the best one for the club and the club's best interest, then you know I want to see it go through sooner rather than later. You know, to get players in the window. Obviously, we've got Winchester in. However, many players we get, I'm not too sure.
Who would you like to? What? You don't have to give us names, but what sort of positions do we need in January? What do we need?
Yeah, I think maybe another striker. I think, to me, right, Will Grigg and Danny Graham, their career is over. Their career at Sunderland is over. 100%. It's like a curse when Danny Graham puts on that Sunderland shirt. You know, I just don't know what it is. And Will Grigg as well. I'm not being funny. He's missed open goals, and for me, his Sunderland career is over. I said as soon as he skied that penalty over at Oxford in the Carabao Cup, from there I was just like, if he's just doing that, it's just like the lack of effort in that run up, and he just blasted it over the bar, and he just went like that. I'm not being funny, but like there's just no effort in that, and we just need those players to come in and actually care. So definitely a striker. See, I'd say right back, but the thing is, we've got players who can play at right back, like Sanderson, even Jordan Willis. I think Jordan Willis is probably one of the fastest players in the team. Jordan Willis is capable, and he was in last season. He was overlapping O'Nien, you know, whipping balls in the box. You know, I'm sure he can play there. In terms of other players, I think midfielders. Obviously, we've got Winchester in. I'd like us to maybe get one more in, and even a winger as well. Like that pace and power, the creativity. That's what we need. Just I mean, to try and name names. I mean, I wouldn't know the players well enough to even sort of know who they are. Obviously, the only players who've sort of been linked with is Joe Mellish. I think that's what his name from Carlisle, who is a Sunderland fan, I believe. And then Ched Evans, which I don't really want to see. No. But yeah, I haven't heard us been linked with anyone recently. But yeah, we just need pace and creativity. I think a winger, striker, and so a winger, striker, and midfielder. That's what I'd say, just to give us a bit more depth in the team.
Yeah, totally agree with all of that. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I do really appreciate you coming on and giving us an update on how we played today, because as I said, I didn't have the faintest idea. Is there anything else you want to say before we end it?
Away the lads.
Away the lads. That's a good way to end it, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if anybody can't tell watching this, but we are also trying out some new software as well. We didn't even know whether this video was going to get uploaded, so if it's uploaded, thank you very much for watching. Give it a like, comment below, subscribe if you haven't already done so. All that jazz would be over the moon with that. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. You guys take care. Thanks very much again, Matthew, and we'll see you later.